the 2018 Toyota AFL Premiership season. Thanks to Yes Loans. They say yes more often. And Metal West Recycling, the scrap metal specialists. 6PR is football.
So here he is, Devon Smith. A beautiful strike. Magnificent. Look at that. Sailed straight over the goal umpire. Did not move. And that is now the second goal to Devon Smith, the seventh goal to the Bombers. 7-2-44 to one miserable point.
It ends up with Stringer, who's shooting for his third of the term. It's tight. He has got it. So Jake Stringer's kicked three. So Nick Nananui, left forward pocket, 45-degree angle. He has kicked a goal. And finally, the West Coast fans can find some voice. 8-4-52 to 1-6-12 the scoreline. Yes, that is right. 8-4-52 Essendon, 1-6-12 West Coast, the side that is equal on top of the table. Not looking all that good at halftime on their home deck at Optus Stadium, as Steve Allen told us earlier. Their equal lowest score at home to halftime in their club's history. It is halftime here at Optus Stadium. 6PR 3AW football, thanks to Metal West Recycling and Yes Loans. We'll find out from Glenn Jakovich and Luke McFarlane if they think West Coast can get back into it or if the Bombers will run away with it. But first of all, let's get a sports wrap thanks to the Heart Foundation. It is time to quit your sugary drinks habit. Choose water and live lighter instead. Good evening to Jimmy Williams.
Thanks very much, Adam Papalia. Well, play isn't too far away from getting underway in Russia between the Socceroos and Denmark. It will be all but impossible for Australia to get past the group stage if they lose tonight. Coach Bert van Marwijk has decided to go with the same 11 as the 2-1 loss to France, meaning Daniel Lozani and Tim Cahill will have to come off the bench if they're to play tonight. We're about 26 minutes away from kickoff. That's at 8 o'clock tonight. Polarising tennis star Nick Kyrgios is on court also tonight at the Queen's Club Championship. He's playing Britain's Kyle Edmund. Fellow Aussie young gun Alex de Minaur has been handed one of 8 wildcards for Wimbledon. And Daria Gavrilova is also on court tonight against Petra Kvitova in the Birmingham tournament. She dropped the first set, though, 6-2. And Daniel Ricciardo could become one of the highest paid Formula One drivers if he accepts a reported monster offer from McLaren, believed to be worth $20 million a year. That's up from the $6 million he's receiving currently. Back to you, boys.
I reckon he's doing all right either way, Jimmy, but well, good luck to Daniel Ricciardo. Good WA boy.
Yes, Balcatta.
From up in the northern suburbs here in Perth. Corrine? Yeah. Duncraig, Corrine? Balcatta. That was a sports wrap thanks to the Heart Foundation. Live lighter and quit your sugary drinks habit. It can lead, and it does lead, to toxic fat. Glenn Jakovich, Luke McFarlane, what do you see happening in this second half?
Hopefully, Luke, a high energy rate from the Eagles because they haven't really exerted too much energy, but they need to look at their forward line. I think they can get back in the game, but where their goals are going to come from is a big question. Does Jeremy McGovern go forward?
Potentially, but I think first and foremost, and it's really hard to coach mechanics when there is no dynamics, and that's been the big issue for West Coast. The effort hasn't been there, so I think first and foremost they're going to have to lift that effort. We saw some signs of it in that second quarter, but the likes of Luke Shuey, he's only had 6 touches. Lewis Jetta, 5 touches. He's the kind of player that can break lines and get some run. Elliot Yeo, trying hard. He's got 6 tackles, but he needs to get really involved. And Jakey Waterman, only 1 touch and 1 tackle in that front half. So it's a few players there that can stand up for West Coast.
It's difficult to coach dynamics when you got no mechanics. Did you come up with that yourself? That's a nice line.
That's well, I've probably heard it along the journey. I can't say that's my own.
I like it. I'd be rolling with it.
Rolling with that.
Luke McFarlane, Glenn Jakovich on 882, 6PR footy. It is half time at Optus Stadium, and it is the Bombers 8-4-52 dominating the West Coast Eagles to half-time, who are 1-6-12, and both sides are out there very early and now just waiting for the bounce.
Yeah, Zach Merritt is the +1 and no one on him. So you watch him run in. I'd like to actually see one of the Eagles just go over across him. Now Willie Rioli's coming over, but they have to pay attention to him and Adam Sard, because they are just causing West Coast a lot of problems off that half-back line.
Did the clubs get their count wrong in terms of being ready for the quarter? Because they're just standing around watching Aussie the Eagle pre-game flight on the big screen.
Well, they're out there nice and early, aren't they, Paps? The fans, they were a little bit subdued today. There wasn't too much kiss cam action or any embracing out there, Jacko.
Not a lot to celebrate in the first half, Carl, but looks like we're about to get underway now.
Righto, let's do it. Here we go. Second half, 6PR, 3AW footy. For Meadow West Recycling and ES Loans, and it is a grim old scoreboard if you're an Eagles supporter. 40 points is the margin as Nat Nui down the throat of Shuey. That was Nat Shuey.
Holding the ball.
And it's going to be straight away a free kick to the Bombers.
He's asking the question, the officiating umpire was behind Shuey and called dropping the ball. Interesting, there was an umpire in front.
So Merritt and Gaff, the leading possession winners, 17 and 16 respectively, as the ball goes inside 50 for the Bombers again. Stringer gets the crumb, and he's been well tackled. It is Liam Duggan had hold of him. A few blokes need to get some footy in this quarter. Ryan only twice, Waterman twice, Nelson twice, Cole twice. Green's been near the footy, but he's only had it a couple of times. Been pinged a couple of times of holding it too, as Lycett against Connor McKenna out on the wing. Lycett well tackled by McKenna, and his hand pass was astray. Picked up by Sard. He went to hooker. Now to McKenna, near the boundary. Back to Sard, who turns around and gave it only to Lycett. And now Gaff, off to Marston. Marston runs and kicks to the attacking 50. Cripps turning, watching and marking. About 45 out slide angle.
What a beautifully weighted kick to Cripps out the open side. So that's the first time West Coast have looked good through the middle of the ground, linking up with handball. But what a fantastic entry out the open side. A weighted kick, very hard to defend when you're running back like that, and it just landed in his lap. Cripps.
Second mark inside 50 for West Coast. Lycett was at the source of it. Couple of fumbles, but Scott Lycett needs to impose himself in this third quarter, whether it be in the ruck, more importantly in the forward line.
Cripps going at a goal a game. He's got 12 from 12, 155 career goals, and he's got a point.
Got up and underneath it and just didn't kick through the ball.
So a point. He joins a number of his other teammates with a point on the board. You've had Ryan, Lacroix, Yo, Cripps, and Fraser McGuinness has mixed a couple. So they've had their chances.
1 goal, 7 now, West Coast. The Bombers 8-4-52. Third quarter for City Toyota. Out of defence, go Essendon. Ball off hands and over the line. And it was almost a push in the back by Natanui on Bell Chambers, but the ball had already carried over. So boundary throw in.
Really like Bell Chambers' game tonight, out to 17 hit outs. So he's kicked a goal, really aggressive couple of tackles. He's really taken it up to both Natanui and Lycett in the ruck.
Natanui and Bell Chambers just getting stuck into each other in this ruck contest. Bell Chambers went to ground. Natanui knocked it down. Gaff's handball missed Marston. Bombers have some numbers at the fall. Merritt had a fumble, then ran into Cripps, still going after it, Zach Merritt. And it might be holding the ball, is it? Natanui's down off the play. We'll get a ball up, in fact, at half forward, and there is just a little bit of spite. West Coast trying to find some fire in their bellies to start this second half, perhaps. Shuey now going at it. Natanui back on his feet. Knocked it down. Stringer kept it moving for the Bombers. Myers after it. Big tackle, Natanui. He spun him that time as Gaff sends it forward to start this second half. They're too far out to kick the goal. Down on the marks about 55-60. So Natanui just lays it up to the hot spot, looking for someone to fly. Yo didn't quite get a leap at it in the end. McKenna at the fall for Essendon. Merritt, McGrath getting involved. And out of defence, here go the Bombers again.
Devon Smith. Cross half back. They find Big Bell Chambers, who retreats for the moment to Goddard. Beautiful pass, Brendan Goddard. Out to the open side, and Heppel was there. He kicks the ball to half forward, and Fantasia in front of his opponent, Duggan. Fantasia up to his feet quickly. And it was enough for the Eagles to hold up and flood back. And now they've got plenty of men behind the ball. Not much running room now for the Bombers. So they'll chip it around. They went to Brown. Brown couldn't take the mark, and it is going to be held up at right half forward for the Bombers.
Bell Chambers cleared a handball off the half-back line. Gaff had to make the tackle stick. I know there's a size difference, but if you don't hold the tackles and you allow Essendon to break free, that's where their run's coming off, and the tackling just hasn't been there so far tonight, the Eagles.
Quick look at the Petters ladder. The Bombers, they win tonight. They'll jump over the top of Fremantle in the AFL competition on the table. They go to 12th. Dockers will drop to 13th. Free kick across half back, and it was Duggan who got that. McGovern just sucking in some big ones. He's probably hurt his ankle or something here, McGovern, I reckon, as Shuey then goes to, Duggan, brilliantly tackled. Ball jarred free. It's been slapped out, and there's a free kick will go to Tip and Woody.
They're on here.
Against Shuey, over the top. Here's Heppel. 55 out. He's looking to give it off. Then he goes back, kicks with the left to the goal square. Bagley, well done by Shepherd. Guts came back. And it was Smith, Devon Smith, that was at the coalface. Then a soccer towards goal by Merritt, and it came off Jeddah and goes through for a behind.
Yeah, really important effort there, Shepherd. And they're the kind of efforts that really lift a team back with the flight to affect that spoil and save the mark.
Third quarter scoreboard for City Toyota. Bombers moved to 8-5-53. The Eagles are 1-7-13.
Jeddah out of fullback with a long ball. Bell Chambers hands for Essendon. Hearn underneath it. Almost taken front on by Smith. Gaff got it back to Duggan. He was slung in the tackle. And Andrew Gaff will get a free kick at right half back for West Coast.
Essendon plus 12 in possession for this quarter.
Well, we have played 5.5 minutes, so they have started well again. Essendon. Eagles on the back foot well and truly. Long ball up the wing. Lycett marks uncontested in the end. Bell Chambers didn't get there. Thought about the kick to Rioli in the middle of the ground. Instead, set up Gaff, who's run down. McDonald Tippenwoody was just waiting. He was watching for Gaff to receive and then laid a great tackle to win the free
that's
kick.
That's not Gaff's fault. That's Lycett. That's just dopey football.
The handball to Sard. The run and the carry again. Long ball inside 50. McKernan had to it. McGovern slapped it away. Guelphy gathered. His kick off the side of the boot, and it allows Shannon Hearn to take an offensive mark. And now West Coast want to try and run and spread.
Gaff had 4 free kicks up to that point. 4 and none against. So he's 4-1. Here he goes to Marston. Marston now kicking the ball inside 50. Waterman had a dirty old day at the moment. Goes near it, ran around it like the Queen Mary. Spun in the tackle, hand pass back. Marston, low punt kick, good. Finds his teammate, and it is going to be Jackson Nelson of all people. Holy Nelson!
1 goal for his career, Carl.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't played a lot of footy, really, has he? Let's face it. Jackson Nelson, just having a look at his profile, game 42 today, 10th game of the year. 1 goal in that career. He was draft pick 51 back in 2014. He's now 22. Been playing across half back. Here he goes. Jackson Nelson runs for 45. He sends it towards goal, and like his teammates, he kicks it across the face through for a crooked point.
Wasted opportunities, the Eagles. If they're going to get back in this game, they've got to convert a few shots on goal at the minute.
Scoring shots starting to even up. The West Coast have been inaccurate. They're 1-8-14. Essendon 8-5-53. 7.5 minutes gone, third quarter for City Toyota. Essendon up to the wing, strong hands, that time by Stringer, who led Schofield to the footy and takes the mark right on the boundary line. Back to his feet, up towards Green, who tried to get this hit over the top of McGovern, who was a little bit too short to do that. Bagley, close to the boundary line, almost pushed in the back by Cole, no, holding the ball. Free kick West Coast.
Schofield in a bit of trouble here, limping away.
Landed awkwardly.
Done this well, Essendon, not allowing West Coast to get that switch. Cole's looking inside, has to go down the line.
Cole, long up the wing. McInnes made the contest. Big Falcon in the end for Hooker. Picked up, spun the Bombers. It was dispossessed. It was on the wing. Really well done by Myers to give it don't argue. Create some space, and then they go through the middle. Goddard to McDonald, Tippenwoody, and the ball inside 50 is great to Brown, who marks it 49 out from goal.
Just lowered their eyes again, Luke. Good, smart play by the Bombers, not getting sucked in to bomb the big ball away. That takes McGovern and Shannon Hearn out of the contest.
Geez, had a terrific game. McDonald, Tippenwoody, so much energy, so much life, and his foot skills on that occasion just perfect.
That was Brown's 8th mark, Paps.
He's been dominating up forward for the Bombers. This kick won't quite have the legs. In fact, it's marked by McGovern right on the last line of defence, and West Coast want to get it moving quickly. Cole almost run down.
Out for Hearn. He goes to Duggan. Duggan a kick on 6PR 3AW footy. The Middle West Recycling and yes lines to Waterman. Going to double his stats here. Possession number 3. As he kicked it right back. Oh, Schofield turned it over. Shocking mistake.
Free kick. It's actually West Coast. Should be West Coast free kick here.
He's lucky.
McKernan go over the mark, did he?
No, he gave one back to Schofield in the face, in the choppers. It's the other umpire picked it up. Well done. Right, free kick was definitely there.
Downfield, so then Ryan goes to Rioli. Rioli down into McInnes, and again he almost took it. As it's Sard. Sard comes away. Hand pass, Langford. Goddard threads a pass to Tippenwoody. As he chips it out for Green. And Green takes the mark. Spent some time down the race. No scans for him at SKG Radiology by the look. He's moving all right. Well, Fantasia, good little turn of pace. Gets away, nice dummy too. Duggan got him in the end, but he did get his kick away. Good leading out by there, the big fella Stringer. Now it's Guelphy. Guelphy got rid of his opponent there in Cole. Fed it back to Bagley. He hooks on goal. Bombers playing really well if you're listening through 3AW over there in Melbourne. For City Toyota, where you come for the price and stay for the service. The Bombers killing the Eagles, 9-5-59 to 1-8-14.
Their foot speed, isn't it, Jacko, is just first class. Whenever they look like they're in a bit of strife, they're able to just burst out of situations and get the ball going in their direction. But, yeah, just a bit of chaos ball there at the front of the goal face, but worked hard, and Mark Bagley, the lucky recipient.
Yeah, no composure with that crazy ball you mentioned. West Coast had plenty of time to clear, but they're trying to play their usual style of football. It's not going to happen tonight, so they have to readjust, shift the mindset and just get it on their terms a little bit. And when they've tried to do that, they try to play fancy football. Schofield tried to kick around the body and straight. Lucky it's a free kick, but there's a lot of those incidents happening around the ground.
So Bombers get the first one of the third quarter, and there's a free kick out of the middle. That last goal well set up by Matt Guelphy, young man drafted out of Claremont. And Lycett's got the free kick in the middle. He just goes with a high bomb inside 50. Big pack up, knocked down. No one at the spill for West Coast initially. Gaff able to rove it. Had to go with his left boot. Doesn't kick on his right all that often. Went across the ground. And then Jeddah hooks a kick inside 50, but it's intercepted. Well done by D. He marks it for Essendon.
He's a hope player, Jeddah. He hoped he could get that ball. He hoped he could kick it to the right and dangerous area, but it's not working for it.
Only 3 marks inside 50 to West Coast.
McGrath.
2 in this quarter.
Long for the Bombers. Up the wing. And there's a free kick. It was actually paid by the umpire off the play. And it will be going West Coast way. So they have been dominating the free kick count. Haven't they, Steve Allen, with the stats for Homestart?
Yeah, overall 24-12.
That's remarkable, considering the scoreline is 9-5-59 to Essendon to 1-8-14 West Coast.
Plus 3 50-metre penalties to zip.
As Lacroix sends the ball inside 50. They're hoping for a mark, and they almost had one. Yo just had it knocked out of his hands. Guelphy down there fighting for it. Nananui was desperate, scrambling after it on his knees. McInnes dumped to the turf. Ball right forward pocket for the Eagles. Langford burrows it out, clears it away, but only as far as Hearn. He'll send it back inside 50. Again, just a hopeful kick into the pocket. Liam Ryan from the side. Almost able to take it, but again, not able to clutch it. Ball off hands, out of play.
Well, Hearn needed to change direction on that occasion. He's just bombed it back in. No one's going to take a mark. They've only taken 3 for the night. There's no one there that can take a contested grab. He needs to move it around the arc out the open side and see if they can find something out there.
Yeah, that's the way the Bombers are doing it. Keeping an open forward line. They push right back here, the Bombers, quickly onto the boot. Outside 50, bounce pass by Devon Smith. There's a tackle laid, ball spilt. No. It's an illegal tackle. No. What's happening?
Free kick to West Coast.
All right, so Cole against McKernan. So Cole now to kick it. This is free kick number 25 to 12 in favour of the Eagles. Oh, inside 50. Was that a mark to Waterman? No, it wasn't paid. Ryan. Now he's on his back. He's got the ball in his hand, and the umpire let it go for a long time, and then he says, I'll throw it up.
Look, they've done the same kick again, as you mentioned before, and deep in the pocket as a defender. Essendon like that one. They can force it wide out of bounds, but no real attacking from the West Coast. No smarts to maybe to the top of the square and get it in the open area, but it's right congested here.
So Natnui won the tap straight to the boundary. It went out. It's a 45-point lead on our scoreboard for City Toyota here on 6PR Footy. And 3AW, of course, as Cripps hand pass. Lacroix immediately tackled. He was hot. And again, Bombers. Heaps of numbers around the footy. Look at every player. Every player is within, what?
20 metres, 30 metres?
Well, either side of the contest, 20 or 30 metres either side of the contest. Every player at one end of the field, which is the river end here at this new big stadium. Paps?
So ball inside 50 for the Eagles. Handball shot out. Well done by Cripps to find some room. Kick to the square. Ball off hands. Hooker will see it through. And a rush behind goes the way of the West Coast Eagles. They're 1 goal 9 now. 15. 9-5-59. The Bombers. There's a quick kick into play. Redmond just got to push as he kicked it. and scrubbed it up towards Jeddah, who's twisting, turning, looking backwards. And a good kick inboard that time to McGovern, who's a loose man in defence at the moment for West Coast. Long ball inside 50, ball threatening to go over the back. McInnes able to rove it himself, snap to goal into the post. They cannot buy one at the moment. 3 behinds to Fraser McInnes, and the Eagles are now 1 goal 10th.
1 goal 10. Wow. Can you draw a goal? Ball gets kicked to the wing. Oh, there was a bit of a funny-looking contest there. Goes against Green, so against another free kick to the Eagles. How many is that, Steve? 26?
26 to 12.
26 to 12. Kick out to Gaff. Gaff's on the half-forward flank. And you watch this. Big high ball inside 50. There you go. Look at that.
It's another one.
Inside 50 she goes. Up they go. Big pack. No one can take a mark. Nelson. He gets the crab and Nelson's hit Waterman. Can you believe that? He's only 25 metres out on a slight angle. Now, surely he couldn't miss this, could he?
What I liked about Nelson, well, he could, Carl, but he shouldn't miss it. What I liked about that was a quick ball in, a forward in front, and that's what they need to do. Nelson on the camera electronic replay didn't try to handball or come back inside. He just slapped it on the boot and just said, forwards, you go and get it. And that's opportunistic. That's what Essendon have been doing to West Coast. So here's a glimmer of hope. They've got to go back now and kick this goal.
So Waterman, can he break what has been a little bit of a drought for the Eagles? 1 goal 10. Can he double their goal tally with a kick?
No.
Another behind.
Contagious, isn't it?
Ah, yeah. So it's 111-17 to 9-5-59 on the City Toyota scoreboard here in 6PR. 3RW footy.
Well, he's had a poor night, Jake Waterman. Hadn't had much of the footy, but, gee, that was a really gettable goal. Sprayed it, and 1 goal 11 now to West Coast. That's terrible accuracy.
59 plays 17 in favour of Essendon. There's the ball out to half-back, off hands. And Jeremy McGovern has been playing as the loose in defence in this quarter. Is it time to swing him forward?
Well, I think they're getting some supply. It's just been poor supply, but I think it's, why not, take the risk. They've got nothing to lose at this point.
Ball thrown in. Left half for the Eagles. Natanui down to Shuey. Tackled, slipped it. He gets it through to Jeddah. Quick hands were good to Cole through the middle of the ground. Now to Cripps. West Coast building from 60. Long towards the goal line. Has it got the legs? It does! And West Coast finally find that goal they've been searching for. We might see a review. Hooker claiming that he's touched it, but that's a goal of the round contender for Toyota Material Handling. Jamie Cripps from about 60 launched one long, and West Coast finally find it between the two big sticks.
Well, Cale Hooker looks like he's pretty adamant that he touched it, but
I reckon he's over the line though.
It looks like we'll just wait for the camera electronic replay.
2-11-23 West Coast, 9-5-59 Essendon. There hasn't been an official review called for, but they are all scrutinised on the way back to the middle, and it looks like it's over the line, does it? First instance.
Well, if he's touched it there...
If he touched it, it's not a goal.
It's not a goal.
Right on the line.
The umpire said it'll be the umpire's
Let's
call.
just get on with it. Let's just get on with it.
It's mirrored down in the middle of the ground. I'm getting on with it. As the ball gets kicked forward by McGrath, it's going to be ricocheted into a body there, and the Eagles swooping on it. Jeddah, nice little hand pass off to Hearn, back to Jeddah. Jeddah to Marston, Marston to the wing. Oh, all of a sudden the Eagles got a little bit of the holy stupid free kick there by Heppel. Did that get paid? Yeah, it did. I'm sure it did. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, not sure what Heppel was thinking there, but just hung on to him for what seemed like an eternity.
It was a bit like Hooker running through the mark earlier. What was going on there? He was a happy Hooker. He just rolled through, didn't he? Just pushed on downfield. Here at inside 50. Ryan down there. Back heel. Look at that. Oh, he did a bit of... He's been watching some World Cup, hasn't he?
No, that's Larry. That's silly football.
Oh, come on. It was inventive.
Carl, please.
Creative.
That's the mindset. We're not at the World Cup. Pick the bloody thing up.
Fair enough, Glenn.
Speaking of the World Cup, Socceroos kick off over there in Russia in about 5 minutes' time. Yeah. But the Socceroos were unhappy with the VAR the other night. Maybe the Bombers could be unhappy with it tonight.
Natanui down. Goddard. I had a chance. McGrath. Hand pass. Dropped it. McKernan on his knees. Hand pass. Gets it out to Myers. Across then to Heppel. Heppel's kick downfield. Man in front there. Ricochets off Fantasia to the Eagles' Marston. He goes to a reversing jet. A pretty good effort there. Got out of danger. Gave it off to Redden. Banana kick inside 50. They need a mark. They fly. There's no mark taken. Here's an opportunity now for right, Yo. He looks slow. A slow Yo. Goes down. Here's Nelson. Nelson kicks it forward, but it's been marked by Hurley. And it's been stopped. I was going to get excited there for a moment, perhaps.
A slow Yo. Took a while to bounce back as it goes out to half-back the Bombers off the hands of Hooker.
No, free kick. Chop the arms.
Yeah, he was pretty quick to tell the umpire about it as well.
I reckon Yo's knees restricting his normal speed, perhaps.
Maybe put him at full forward. They've got to try something West Coast. He can be dangerous down there. Shuey's the one. He just had that nice break out of the middle of the ground in the last goal result. But Shuey's got to get energised out there.
Zard just showed a little bit too much of the kick to Shuey, who knocked it away from McDonald, Tip and Woody, and then got a shove over the boundary line, then goes back to get Shuey. Now that's poor. Shuey knew the contact was coming.
He played that well, Shuey. He knew it was coming, and as soon as it came, he tumbled forward, but wins himself a free
Silly
kick.
for McDonald, Tip and Woody. Eagles inside 50, and Liam Ryan on the lead. Takes it tight angle right forward pocket.
28-12 now. That is free kick.
28-13.
Oh, sorry.
So to take you through it again, Shuey gave McDonald, Tip and Woody a shove after the ball had gone out of play, then turned around walking back, just expecting Tip and Woody to give him a little bit of a bump, and as soon as there was some contact,
mayonnaise on that.
he did a
Well
That's
done.
experience.
Yeah.
France-like
He might get fined.
bit of staging. As Liam Ryan's kick is then terrible. Out of bounds on the full in the right forward pocket. 9-5-59 Essendon. 2-11-23 West Coast. 21 minutes gone.
Maybe he should have backheeled it.
Yeah, that's right.
In the third quarter for City Toyota.
Everyone complains about the lack of goals, but how can you like when you look at the score with 2-11, run out of the full,
Plenty of shots.
they're getting chances, not taking them. Ball back in play. 6 power 3AW footy. City Toyota scoreboard. Tyre power time clocks 4:17 in the quarter to go. That's the end of the third quarter. It'll be as Myers working across our back, dished off a little hand pass over the top, and then his teammate was dragged over the line. Cripps goes to Myers. Couple of WA boys there going at it. Thank you very much for the coffee.
Not sure the Bombers fans will be happy with Dean Margetts. These free kick count 10-1. 10 for West Coast, 1 to the Bombers.
The Optus Stadium staff looking after me today. No pies left, Jacko. You ate them all as Yo gave it off only to Goddard. Myers, smothered by Yo. Then his kick is then into the shin of Heppel.
Well, it's hard to believe, but West Coast are actually +5 now for inside 50s, so they're winning in that key area of the game, but they're not scoring. They're not kicking straight. They're not making the most of these opportunities.
Well, it could be a lot closer, couldn't it? Even if they kick 3 of them, all of a sudden we're in with it. They're in with a little sniff. Right now, they're still 7 goals, 36 points. So make that 6 straight, but 7 to win. And really, 2 goals in 3 quarters. You're not necessarily going to be able to kick yourself 7 in the last unless something drastic happens.
Essendon have the footy at half-back. It's with Brown. We've got 3.5 minutes to go on the tyre power clock in the third term for City Toyota.
Absorbed that really well, Essendon. Under pressure for 5 minutes. Now they've got possession of the ball, and they're just going to just take it into three-quarter time. There's 3 minutes to go, albeit if they get another goal, you would say, Luke, it's all over. But they've really absorbed West Coast pressure, been smart about it. They haven't over panicked. A couple of silly free kicks, but that's a bit of the emotions. Just got to play it out for three-quarter time here, the Bombers.
Yeah, they're working hard enough. I think that, they keep on doing what they're doing, and they're going to win this game, which will be a really good win. 3 out of 4 on the road. Gaff taken out. McGrath did well. Cross to Tip and Woody. Tip and Woody touches it down, then retreats. Little line boots on. He gave it back then to Goddard, who goes then to McGrath. McGrath pumps one inside 50. Oh, gee, Duggan spoiled Shepherd. Gave Green a real chance, who was down doing the crumbing, as you should be as a little small forward. And with 2:52 on the clock, it's knocked out of bounds, and it is still a 6-goal lead to the Bombers.
Well, you feel like if Essendon are able to kick a goal here in the shadows of three-quarter time, this game is all over, because West Coast have had all the play up their end, and Essendon now an opportunity in their front half.
McKernan knocked it down. Fantasia tackled, dispossessed. Scrambling after it. Green just picked it up, and he's missed.
But the difference between the two forward lines, they look threatening. Small crumbing forwards, Green, Fantasia, they look dangerous. West Coast, nothing.
Gaff to Hearn, out of defence. Kick has to be good. Ryan went underneath it with a big leap and missed it.
He's had an almost great game, hasn't he, Ryan? He's flown for a couple of big marks. He's looked lively at times. He's gone for a back heeler, but none of it's come off, unfortunately.
24 minutes played, third term for City Toyota. Come for the price, stay for the service. As it's spun back in, left half forward for Essendon. Ball's been in West Coast forward half for most of the term as Hearn kicks the ball up the wing, but only as far as Goddard, who intercepts and takes the mark. And he swings it inboard. Another aggressive kick into the corridor. McDonald Tippenwoody has it, and he just lowers it in. He bullets it into the 50. What a lovely kick. And Fantasia's got it on the 50.
It's two class kicks, isn't it? Goddard first, just roll inside 45 kick.
Oh, got caught napping here.
Handball away. Hurley is a thumping kick of the footy. And from 60, he launches it long. Big fly down on the goal line from Stringer. And Merritt was able to take it, but he was actually behind the goal line, so it's only behind the results of the Bombers.
Once again, West Coast caught napping. This time it was Jeremy McGovern.
And out of full back, it's going to come back in because it wasn't touched. It wasn't touched from the kick in. It'll be a free kick to McDonald Tippenwoody at left half forward for Essendon. Congested forward line. He just sets it up to the hot spot. A lot of pushing and shoving, and in the end, Hearn able to just peel away from Stringer and take an uncontested mark.
This is where Essendon have been really well organised. West Coast looking for a switch, and look now, turnover.
Terrible kick from the skipper. Shepherd made it look okay in the end because he was able to get a handball to Duggan. Long ball out to half-back. Rioli hasn't been sided too much, but he was able to bring that ball to ground. Cole kicks around his body now out into the path of Rioli. West Coast desperately need one before three-quarter time. Rioli gathers. He spears it in towards McGovern, who's drifted to half forward. He's got it now 65-70 from goal. Minute 10 on the clock in the third quarter. Terrible kick intercepted by Bell Chambers in defence for the Bombers.
Well, he led too early, Lecras, while McGovern was still arcing around, and then McGovern tried a little 9-iron chip, got too much height on it.
Dropped by Hooker, who's then turned it over. He's kicked it straight to Shuey. Slips a handball through to Gaff. His kick was touched by Hooker. Will it sit on the line? West Coast player will miss it. Has he touched it? No.
He's kicked it.
Has Lysett got some on it? There was the big
He's got a
kick.
bit on it.
Has he had a fresh airy, or has he got some on it, Scott Lysett?
Oh, no.
That is remarkable. It'll be one of the bloopers of all time if he doesn't make any contact as we go to the review. He was all alone by himself. Has he got a bootlace on it as we go to the official review?
You've got to watch it in fast play, and that's when you'll see there's a deviation in the ball. The slow motion doesn't do it justice.
So Gaff's kick comes in. Hooker gets a hand on it to knock it to the goal line. It was rolling right to the line. So it was clearly touched by Hooker, and it was going right to the goal line. Lysett was arriving at a rate of knots. He's taken a big wind-up. Goal umpire right there. Has he missed it, or has he touched it?
He's tried to kick the leather off it.
Yeah, but they've got to do it in fast play.
Can we keep in mind that we didn't think the last goal was a goal as well?
That is also true, Steve Allen.
Touched on the line.
Look, that should have just been a tap in at the back post for Scott Lysett. Instead, he's had the windy, and it's a behind. It is a behind. What a mistake from Scott Lysett. The goal the Eagles were desperately searching for. They are denied with 39 seconds left in the third quarter. That one is going to be replayed a lot.
Well, he's had a game he'd rather forget. Scott Lyce has been very fumbly with the footy. As we watched it again on the camera electronic replay, a big fresh airy right on the goal line. But I think he'd rather just forget about this game and move on.
That is quite unbelievable.
They are way off.
Ball fisted by Natanui after it came out to half-back. A high tackle maybe on Bagley, who had the head ducked. Bombers have got it. And you just feel how flat the crowd is.
Well, how flat are his teammates too?
They should have had a goal there at West Coast.
Would have given him a little bit of hope going into three-quarter time.
Looking at the replay, Tom Bell Chambers was laughing his head off.
He has to.
At Scott Lysett.
You can't let that slip.
That is one of the all-time bloopers from Scott Lysett as Shuey gets it to Gaff, and a bouncing ball goes over the line in the right forward pocket for the Eagles, and it feels like it's just limping towards three-quarter time with 16 seconds to go in the term.
I believe this is the Eagles' lowest score to three-quarter time since 2004.
They have had a very off night as Natanui knocks it down. After it is Guelphy, tackled maybe high. Now it's locked in underneath. It'll be a ball up inside 50 for West Coast with just a couple of seconds remaining in the third term.
Well, they win the quarter, the Eagles, if it stays like this, but not enough.
Ball hit to the side of the pack. Lecras after it, over the line. It was a throw from Lecras, in fact, so it will be a free kick going the Bombers' way. Virtually no time remaining in this third quarter for City Toyota. It's had a bit of everything so far this game. As Merritt brings the ball back into play, and that will do it. 3 quarters in the books. And John Worsfold and the Bombers sitting pretty as we turn for home on 6PR 3AW football. 9-7-61 Essendon. West Coast 2-12-24. But the highlight/lowlight of that quarter was Scott Lysett having a fresh airy, trying to boot it up into the third tier from right on the goal line under no immediate pressure, and denying West Coast a goal that might have just given them a little bit of momentum heading into the 3-quarter time break. We'll be back with all the analysis from Glenn Jakovich and Luke McFarlane in just a moment. But it's the Bombers 9-7-61 in control. The Eagles 2-12-24. 6PR 3AW is football.